So, dude, you're fucking live right now on the Zach Moonshine Show, man.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me on.
Fuck yeah, dude. So what the fuck is going on in the world of Centenary, man? What have you guys been doing?
Well, we just put out a new record, Into the Graveless Beyond, which you just played a song from. So, yeah, that just came out like a few weeks ago. So, we just been doing our thing, playing shows. You know, we went to New York a couple weeks ago, played there with Nunslaughter and a bunch of bands, and we just been kind of breaking out of Michigan here and there when we can. So, like the last year, we've been playing, we played like Ohio, Chicago, New York, and then we still play locally too. So,
fuck yeah, man.
That's pretty much it right now.
Well, dude, the fucking new record fucking kicks fucking ass, man. Fucking tell us about it, man. What was it like recording this record?
Oh, well, funny story actually. I mean, it's been we tracked it like about 2 years ago, so a lot of stuff's, you know, it was a long process getting this thing out. We had a lot of, you know, different things go on, but I mean, it all ended up being for the better because it came out really good, and we're glad to finally have it out. We're glad that you know, people liked it. That's, you know, that makes it even better. We're happy with it, and when other people are, that's even better. So, yeah.
Wow. So this isn't actually a new record.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it is. It's our first one. We did an EP before that, and so it's, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, you recorded it a couple years ago, but I mean, it is, you know, it just came out, so technically it's new.
It's new to us, but it's not new to you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, we've been, you know, working on new stuff for our next recording, so we got that going on too. We had to, you know, change drummers a while back, so we, you know, had to spend time, you know, getting that back around, and you know, when you change a member, you get, you know, it takes time to get stuff back going, but you know, we didn't cancel one show over it though, so that was awesome.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's badass, man. So I can tell you're a big horror buff, man. I mean, obviously you've got a lot of fucking pieces of horror movies mixed in here with some of these songs on the record. And
yeah. Me and like, all the guys in the band, I mean, we pretty much are all into like old, well, you know, mostly like a lot of old school B movies, and so yeah, a lot of that is prevalent in the lyrics and, you know, artwork, subject matter, whatever. We all, I mean, because like we're not like young dudes, we're all like older, so it's like we grew up on a lot of like the 70s, like the horror hosts. Like in Detroit, we had Sir Graves Ghastly was like one a lot of us grew up watching on like Saturday afternoons, and he'd do like the horror double feature, and it was always like, you know, all the old school like Hammer horror, you know, and Universal horror movies and things like that, and then all the, you know, the cheesy stuff from the 70s and 80s. So it's all there somewhere.
Oh,
like
yeah.
well, for example, like one of the songs on the album is Kolchak, and that's about Kolchak the Night Stalker, which, you know, was played by Darren McGavin, which is, you know, the dad from Christmas Story. So, but that show was really awesome, and it was only around for a couple seasons, but we wrote a song about him because, you know, he kicks ass.
That's fucking cool, man. Well, tell us, man, what's if you had to narrow it down, man, what's one of your favorite fucking horror movies of all time?
Oh man. Well, I mean, that's really hard, but I mean, since I've been like I mean, you know, it's Halloween's, you know, all of October's Halloween for me, pretty much. I mean, I spend most of my 80% of my year watching horror, anyways. But like October, I usually like revisit a lot of like the, you know, the ones that have always left an impact on me. So, it's a tough call. I mean, I'm gonna probably, it depends on what day you ask me. Right now, I'm gonna probably say, you know, Reanimator is probably high up there for me because, you know, that's like, I don't know, that's, out of all the 80s movies, that was like the one that, like, I don't know, it seems to hold up the best out of like a lot of the ones that came out from that time period. Even though I love 80s horror, but that one right there is like pretty special.
Yeah, man. I remember the first time I seen Reanimator, my grandma showed it to me when I was fucking, God, I don't remember. I think I was like 12. and I was visiting Grandma's house for the summer, and she'd always fucking be digging out a bunch of horror movies and stuff, and be letting us watch it. So we loved that. But I remember watching that one in particular, and fucking just like, what the fuck, man? Like, there was a few parts where she was like, maybe you shouldn't look, and I was like, no. It's okay.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you brought up your grandma, because I mean, like when I was in high school, after school I spent a lot of time at my grandma's house, and she'd always take me and my sister to the video store, and be like, oh, we could each rent one movie or two or whatever, and I'd always get like all these crazy horror movies and take them back to the house and watch them with her, and so I mean I did a lot, and I know Reanimator was one of them. I mean, like the first time I watched Evil Dead was with my grandma too, and what's funny is, like, years later, it was like I was talking to my mom, and she was like, went over to like visit my grandma, and she was sitting there watching like a horror movie by herself, and she's like, and I asked her why she was watching. She's like, said that she used to like it when she watched them with me she watched them with me all the time. So I was like, oh shit, I thought she hated them. The whole time I thought she hated it, and then I found out years later that my grandma actually liked those movies after I showed them to her. So that was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, man. And
that was a trip.
It's cool too how some of those older films, some of the cheesier ones, how they affect you differently when you're younger versus when you're older.
Yeah.
Like
some of them hadn't aged well.
For instance, the other day, one of my favorites is fucking Evil Dead, and I was showing Evil Dead 2. Actually, I was playing that for my 6-year-old son, and he's sitting there watching it. He's just like totally in awe of it. And I was laughing, because some of the special effects on it are just fucking horrible, man. Like, it's not believable to a grown adult. But I was watching the way that he was watching it, and it made me love it even more, because I could see that he could totally, he was just drawn into it, and he was believing everything he was seeing. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, man, this is a badass movie, dude.
Well, it's one thing I noticed too, like with a lot of the Blu-ray transfers of like a lot of those old movies. It's like you notice even more how how fake some of the practical effects look. I mean, back when you're watching it on a VHS tape, I mean, like I still watch VHS once in a while, and there's a noticeable difference. But then it's like you don't notice it as much. But now it's like everything's in like higher definition, so it's like on the old movies, it's like really. But since I grew up with all this stuff, it's like I never get tired of it. I mean, I'll still sit there and watch like the cheesiest '80s movie I can find, and and then a lot of the classics too. But I mean, well, like what the other day it was like, what did I dug up some old movie from like '81 called The Pit, and it was like, I mean, cheesy as all hell. It was like this kid had this hole in the ground behind, like way behind his house. It had these aliens in it, and he just kept like luring, like tricking people into coming out there, and so he could push them off the edge, and then they would eat them. I mean, it was cheesy as hell, but I mean, I loved every minute of it, because it's just it always just takes me back to that time period when all that stuff was going on, and I was getting into horror and metal at the same time. So.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah. The '80s, man, were fucking great, dude. There's a movie that I was trying to think of the other day, and I can't fucking figure it out. All I can remember is one scene in it that I saw. It came out way back then, but all I remember is this one scene where there's these like two dudes. They're like metalheads, and they're driving in this big ass fucking van thing, and they both got face paint on that sort of looked like they were dressed up like either like Gene Simmons or King Diamond or something, and they're fucking like playing air guitar and fucking drumming on the fucking dashboard, and they're going out to some kind of summer camp somewhere, and then there's a bunch of murdering and shit that happens, but I can't fucking remember what the name of that fucking film is, man. It's driving me fucking nuts.
I probably should know it, but I'm like drawing like a total blank right now. But I mean, I mean, that could be like several different movies now that I think about it. But I mean,
I need to post that on Facebook and ask, man. Maybe somebody out there has got to know.
Yeah, I know I'm in a group on Facebook. It's like a group dedicated to Joe Bob Briggs, the guy that used to do Monster Vision and stuff. He's got like a new show that he does now. But I've seen people in there post like the most obscure, like, there's a scene from this one movie, and I know this, and like within, you know, usually the people in there, like somebody always figures out what it is. So it's like I've noticed that they're really good in that group about that. You know, if there's something I can't figure out, I'll usually just go there, and somebody will usually have the answer.
Hell
So
yeah,
that's
man.
cool.
That's cool, dude. So, well, on the record, like as far as the little movie clips and stuff that you guys use, what went into deciding which ones to use and stuff like that? Like, can you tell us about that?
Well, one, it depended on the subject matter of the song. Like, and Mike, our guitarist, he chose a lot of the same. I mean, we all like checked them out and stuff, but I mean, he came up with a lot of the ideas for the samples. So then we just went, oh yeah, that sounds cool. But like, well, like Ghastly Graves is like, that's a song we wrote about the horror host that we grew up watching, Sir Graves Ghastly. So that the whole sample there is like, from the intro to his show. I mean, they have it on YouTube, so we just kind of like grabbed it off there and, you know, got it from there. And the one like the Kolchak sample. I mean, like I said, that was, you know, Mike came up with those, and you know, they ended up, you know, fitting really well. Like when we got the album back and I listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, everything fits really cool. And then the one track you played, Phantasm Spasm, that whole sample's from the Frighteners. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's like, you know, everybody always goes on about Peter Jackson and Lord of the Rings, but as far as I'm concerned, the Frighteners and, you know, Dead Alive are like the two best movies. So,
Hell yeah,
you know,
dude.
I thought he was better at horror comedy than anything else. So you should go back to that, actually.
Dead Alive was fucking great too, man. That one part when the dude picks up the fucking lawnmower and just starts fucking plowing through all those fucking people.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Oh yeah. It's just such a ridiculous movie. I heard he's supposed to be re-releasing all of those in like 4K or something like that. So it's going to be crazy to see how crazy that movie looks in higher definition. Because I mean, it's already pretty nuts with over the top with the gore and everything. So it definitely give me a reason to watch it again.
Oh hell yeah!
I haven't watched it like a million times already.
Hell yeah!
So,
but that'll be cool, man. Well,
oh, totally.
Speaking of fucking, let me ask you about your live shows, man. For anybody out there who has never seen you guys live yet, what can you tell them to expect at a live show?
Well, loud chainsaw guitars. I mean, if you're into that whole HM2 guitar tone, that's you know, that's what is loud, and we play. You know, we get up there and do our thing. I mean, nothing, you know. No crazy stage show or nothing like that. It's just dudes up there playing death metal. So, you know, but you know, we get up there and we get into it and, you know, do our thing, and we play. You know, we play a lot of shows and get to. You know, we played with a lot of nationals that come to town. So that's always a good time. And you know, yeah. I mean, we just get up there and have fun, man. Because I mean, we're just doing this to have fun. It's not like, you know, we think we're gonna, you know, make any money or anything like that. We've been, like a lot of us, have been playing music since like the 90s. So, you know, we're just in it for the fun, and, you know, people dig it. That makes it even funner. So, people come out to a show, you know, we have fun, and they usually have fun too as a result.
Hell yeah, dude. So,
can't ask for much more than that.
Got some questions for you from the chat room, man. Paula Campbell wants to know. Paula wants to know, where's the band from? Where are you guys from?
Detroit, Michigan. We pretty much we just call our music Detroit chainsaw metal because that's what it is. I mean, oh yeah, Stockholm, Michigan. But I mean, we joke about that at shows a lot. But yeah, I mean, we're from Detroit, Michigan. You know, really good scene there. There's a lot of good bands, and we know a lot of them. And I mean, it's, you know, the scene in Michigan is like what got me into extreme metal in the first place in the 90s. There was like always really good local bands around here. So, you know, it was what made me want to, you know, do it too. So, but yeah, Detroit, Michigan. Half of us live in Lansing, so we, you know, commute back and forth. But that Detroit is definitely our home.
Hell yeah. She also wants to know, do you have any favorite places to play live?
as far as Detroit goes, there's a place called the Sanctuary. They've been open for they were Paychecks way back in the day, so they've been around like a long time. But they reopened about a year ago, and we got to play there like the weekend it opened. We played with Demolich from Finland and Blood Incantation, and I mean that show it holds like 300 people, max probably. So that was and the show was like on a Monday night, and there was like a bunch of people there, and it was great. That place is they're really cool to us. They get a lot of cool shows. It's a fun place to play. The PA is really awesome. Max Bar in Lansing, really small bar, but it's one of my favorites because it holds like 150 people max. But it's not hard to pack it, and it's just always been a fun place to play. And like my other bands that I've been in the past, we played there all the time too. So let's see. We played Cobra Lounge in Chicago. That place is pretty cool. Those are probably most of my favorites right there that I can think of off the top of my head. We played like we played so many places, so I'm just trying to think of the ones that stand out really good. But yeah, shoot, we'll play. We played basements, living rooms, so it doesn't really matter. We just like to play shows and with good bands and have fun, and meet cool people.
Hell yeah, dude. Another question from the chat. Viogez wants to know, how did the band meet up and start playing?
Well, our guitarist Mike Bradley, he started the band in 2014. I came in like towards the end of 2015, and then shortly after that, Matt and Al, our singer, came into the picture in 2016. So this, like the core lineup of us, we've been together since 2016, and we're coming up on 2020. The only thing that's different since we recorded is our drummer situation. We had to change drummers. Stuff happens, but things are rolling right along again. So, but so it started. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2014 when Mike started up everything. Because like when I joined, it had a completely different lineup, and then it was it's like sometimes finding the right lineup. It's like you swap, because we all knew each other. We all know each other from playing in different bands. We used to play shows together, so it wasn't a thing where it was like I came into it and like I didn't didn't know the guys or anything like that. It's like, so it's just like a bunch of friends getting together and playing music pretty much. So we've like all known each other a really long time. So.
Oh yeah, man. Another question from the chat. Necrosian wants to know, what kind of gear do you guys use?
I just play through an Ampeg cabinet, and I got I know everybody always rags on Line 6, but I got a Line 6 bass head, and I've had the thing for like 10 years, and it's awesome. But I have that, and then I play through a Big Buff bass distortion, and I have a 5-string ESP that I play through, and both our guitarists both use HF2s, cranked all the way, pretty much. So not much said if you're into that guitar tone, that's definitely our thing. Let's see, Matt's got a Jackson and a Gibson, and Mike's got an Ibanez, man. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I think that's about it. I've had the same bass for like 20 years.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know. It's been through a lot. I don't know why it's still together. But if anything ever happens to it, I was like, I'm gonna have to actually get around to buying another one.
Well, fuck it, man. It still
works.
Yeah,
but the key to the sound of the band is the HM2 pedals and I distort the hell out of the bass. So, but I try to make sure they're still low end there. I like distorted bass, but not so much where like the low end drops out of it. So, and we play in B standard, so it fits really good for that tone. But like a lot of I know there's like a the HM2 band thing is a big thing right now. But it's we've all been into that stuff for so long, and like I think we bring some other other influences in it than just, like copying Entombed or whatever. Like there's even like a song on the album that's, more black metal than anything else. But I mean, it's still got the HM2 guitar thing, so we kind of, and the last song you played, that's like, we kind of call that our Terrorizer ripoff. So
Well, speaking of
that's pretty much.
Speaking of influences, man, Larry Cook wants to know what kind of inspirations do you guys have?
A lot of them, a lot of early '90s death metal, and forward, of course, because we live. There's a lot of newer bands we listen to too, but like Grave, Entombed, Autopsy, Repulsion, obviously, because they're from Michigan, and they started a lot. They started most of this. That's like one of the first extreme bands around, and those guys have always been awesome. Trying to think more. Doomier stuff like but I say a lot of death metal, and then like newer stuff. I mean, I love Blood Ink. Those guys. That's like, as far as newer bands go, that's probably like one of the best bands I've heard in like the last few years, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, most of our inspiration comes from the early '90s death metal, because I mean, we were most of us were around when all that stuff came out, so we just it just kind of always stays with you. I mean, that's the thing about that era of music. It's like, yeah, even looking back on it, it's just so timeless. I mean, the songwriting was really on point with a lot of those. That's why the music, that's why people still dig it today. So we do too.
Hell yeah, man. I totally agree, dude. As far as the band name Centenary, how did you guys come up with that? Is there a story behind it?
That's another Mike, our guitarist, again. He's the one that named the band. I mean, I guess you kind of call Mike the visionary. And we all put our 2 cents in, but I mean, he started the band, and a lot of stuff like that. I mean, like, and I didn't even know what that. So we looked it up, and then I realized it had to do with like 100 years, and I was like, oh, if you added all the ages up, it'd be over 100. So that worked.
Hell yeah, man. Well, what's coming up?
I mean, it sounded cool, and it was one word.
Yeah, it definitely fucking works.
Nobody else has so. What? What now?
Yeah, it definitely works, man. It's got
Yeah, you cut off for a second. I didn't. Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool.
So what's coming up next for Centenary, man? What do you guys have anything planned?
What's coming up next? Just a couple local shows. We were kind of winding down because winter's coming, so we're gonna work on. We got a lot of new riffs we gotta work on, and we're gonna either do like an EP or a split or something, probably in between in between albums or whatever, because we since we recorded the last one so long ago, it's like we're kind of like itching to get some new stuff out. So that'll be the focus for the winter. But like we got like a week, 2 weeks. We're playing at the Sanctuary in Detroit with this black metal band from the Czech Republic called Sekmet. I can't pronounce her name, but and Eisenblast Detroit, black metal band that we're good friends with. They're on the show, and we're doing that. And I think we might be doing a house party for Halloween somewhere, and then we got a show in Lansing. Then we're gonna this winter we're gonna mainly focus on new material. I mean, if something really cool comes up that we can't say no to, I mean, we'll probably do it. But wintertime, it's like around here, we don't know about everybody else, but Michigan winters suck. So and since we do a lot of commuting, it's like sometimes the weather gets in the way of a lot of things. So we don't play out as much during the winter. So we're gonna be definitely working on new material. That's and start booking. We usually start all our booking for the following year. Like we try to get it done as early as possible. Start working on shows for next year. Well, that's pretty much where we're at right now.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, for anybody out there listening that wants to catch more information about you guys, where can they go?
Well, obviously we're on Facebook, but Facebook is like the worst place in the world for bands. But You can look us up on there, and we're on Bandcamp, which is where you can get a copy of our album. Guy who does a small label here in Detroit, Death Psalm, he's the one that pressed it for us. So you can order it through the Bandcamp if anybody wants to get a copy of it. But you can. Then we have an Instagram, but that's pretty much it. I mean, keep up with it as much as I can. But once you get like so many things that you're on, it's like, oh, I got to keep track. Because I'm like old school, so it's like track of all this stuff. And, do a pretty good job. But Facebook and Bandcamp and Instagram are pretty much where you'll find anything on us until somebody comes up with something better.
Fuck yeah, dude. I hear you, dude. Well, I'm about out of questions for you, man. Is there anything else you want to add? Let the people know.
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and thank you for having me on here, man. It was cool to come on and just shoot the shit with you, and thanks for pumping the album and playing our music. That's pretty awesome. And anytime you want me to come back, just say the word. So, that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, I really appreciate it.
Fuck yeah, brother. Anytime, man. Well, before I let you go, I got to get you to make us a station tag, all right?
Sure.
All right, whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is Centenary, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio."
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, this is Jim from Centenary, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Fuck yeah, dude. Right on, man. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you, man.
Thanks a lot for taking the time, man. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more Centenary so these motherfuckers can go crazy, all right?
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you later, man. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
There you have it, folks. Centenary live on the Zach Moonshine Show. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your fucking windows, put them in your front lawns, put them wherever the fuck you can to make your neighbors fucking hate you, man. If you don't fucking see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow, you need a new set of balls or a new fucking stereo system. Period. Crank it up.